Good evening. I am so happy to see you this evening. And I guess what? I have Tishy with me tonight. Briefly, she was just bugging me for some more food, which I gave her. And so here she is. She doesn't know to look at the screen anymore. She's just blind as a cat. But I'm just happy to tell you, other than that, she's doing pretty good. She's starting to adjust to her blindness. And doesn't, the other day she walked face first into a wall. But I watch her. She walks around I just washed my hair and I seriously can't do a thing with it. She walks the perimeter of the rooms and she's kind of trying to, they say that when someone goes blind, when a person goes blind, don't move anything because they got to know where it is. And so she's learning where everything is. So she's being such a good girl and I love her so much. And thank you for all your concerns, for everybody that says to me, how's Tish doing? That means more than you will know. Alrighty, well, today we're going to be talking about powering up to level 2. Yesterday we talked about claiming your power. I hope you got some of the information, that you really let it sink in, especially over the past 24 hours, so that you can engage your power and learn the amazing power of a paradigm shift, of getting that aha moment that says, I can do this. I can. It's so important. All right, so for our National Day calendar today, it is, and I do not know how this date ever got picked. It's National Kite Flying Day. Clearly, no one was on the East Coast or the northern states that thought that one up, because there's no way I'm going out there and trying to fly any kind of kite. I may tell someone to go fly a kite, but certainly plenty of people have told me, look at this crazy hair. Oh, my stars. Well, you're just going to have to deal with it. I have to deal with it. I have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. I'll tell people to go fly a kite. I'm sure you would too. But as far as that kite, But think about, if you're living in an area where you can fly a kite, I invite you to, if you don't have one, make one. You can make it out of newspapers and whatever. If you go to the National Day calendar, to their section on today's days, it even gives you great tips on flying a kite, how to fly a kite. Where I live out here in Connecticut, we've got wide open skies and hills where people can go up and fly kites. And I always get excited when someone buys a kite and then you can watch them go up on the hill and fly it. And there's so many different kinds of kites. And if you go to YouTube, good old YouTube, and look up a special kite flying, you will see kites. You don't even know how they did it. We went to a kite festival, my friend Kim and I, when I was in Texas. We went to a kite festival, and we actually bought kites. I bought one for Sammy, which was a unicorn, and she bought one for her son Sterling, and that was a pagoda. But the kites were so easy to fly, it's like there wasn't a challenge. You kind of lifted them up, and the wind took them, and up they went. And if you tied it to something, the doorknob of your car or something, that kite would just fly and fly. But there's lots of fun kites. Quick little kite story. I went to Copenhagen a number of years ago, a large number of years ago, like back in the 80s. Can't believe that time's gone by. Anyway, went to Copenhagen, and it was not a long distance from where the Little Mermaid was. we found a toy store. And we went into the toy store and we were looking around and there were kites. And I looked at a kite. They had kites hung up. They weren't all in bags, like, like y'all bag them up here. They had them hanging on the walls, for you to assemble, and off you'd go. But on that kite, it said, "Go fly a kite, East Haddam, Connecticut." And that's where the company was for many years. I think it moved out of here to a bigger place, or just a little town. But how exciting to be all the way in another country, far, far away, and find a kite that was made in your town. I think that's pretty amazing. Okay, it's also Boy Scouts Day, which I have just a little something, A lot of people today are talking about freedom. Be free. We want to be free. And the other day I was thinking about getting a group going that I used to have. It was called Gather the Women. And I wondered if I would be able to do that anymore, because now the girls want to be in the Boy Scouts and the boys want to be in the Girl Scouts. And is it appropriate that colleges, although I think everybody should be able to get an education wherever they want, but it was like, if you're not free to have a women's group, what's the point? We're missing something. So it shouldn't be either or. It should be this and. So if you're guys, you want to get a men's club going, I don't want to hang around with your you guys anyway. Let you do your guy talk and have your stuff, and the women will sit around and talk about our stuff and figure out how to save the world. So much for that. And internet safety, of course, that's important on so many levels. It's important with our children. It's important with our ID, with our identity. It's so easy for people to try to hack our accounts, to trick us. And it happened just the other day where it told me that my Amazon account or something was threatened. I know how to tell for sure if it's a valid thing or a hoax thing, but that's another day, because I'm just running off at the mouth. I have such a way of running off at the mouth. So today, when we talk about powering up, this for me is not about like in a video game where you take these challenges, you get a certain amount of points, and then you power up to the next level. This is about the importance of connecting with other people. And when we connect with other people, our power level goes up. Now that's even in the Bible. One of them says, if two agree on a thing, it is so. Now that has got a good side and it has got a bad side. So if two people get together and they gossip, they agree on something that is not good and right and healthy, that's not a good thing. You want to make sure that you align with someone who has everyone's highest good in mind. Someone that you don't want to get an idea and say, I want to do this. I want to write a book. I want to start a business. I want to do whatever. And have the other person not aligned with you. If they keep reminding you, God bless my dad. I love him so much. He is on the other side and he's probably listening right now. But I would go to him with one of my ideas and I said, Dad, I was just thinking about this. And I would tell him, and he would go, well, I know, but you gotta think long and hard about this, and you're not really sure that it's something. In the meantime, I'd go wild. And sometimes things that I probably could have done, I might not have, I didn't do. And it's not that my dad didn't love me, but he wanted to protect me from making a mistake, wasting money, or anything like that. So he has the big thing: don't get a credit card, don't get a credit card. Whatever you do, don't get a credit card. And for many years I didn't, and to this day, I have two. I have one that's in a drawer somewhere. I don't even know where. I keep it safe. Nobody can get to it, but I don't even look at it. The other one is the one that I have. It's my Amazon Prime card, and I get my points on that, and I make sure I pay it every month so that there's not any interest fees. So at least when my dad kept saying, don't get it, don't get it, don't get it, I got one time. I went crazy with it. I don't know how I spent that money that fast, and then I tried to make the minimum payment. And it would have gone on forever if I didn't one day just have to pay the thing off. So my dad was right, I was right. But if you have a project you want to accomplish, you want to have someone helping you that believes in you and believes you can do it. That's the power of you got your power of positive thinking, then you got your multiplication, the powering up of that power by having someone who agrees with you about it. Okay? Now, if it's gossip, two or more mustn't agree upon a thing, because if they're gossiping about someone else, for them, that becomes true. And so if somebody wants to start gossiping with you, go, sorry, busy, can't do it, can't talk now, don't want to talk now, won't talk about them if they're not here to answer any questions. I've been gossiped about. We've all been gossiped about, and even I did a little gossiping myself. Not nice. All right. So another part about the power of two is that Jesus said, where two or more are gathered in my name, there I am in their midst. Well, let's look at it from the perspective where Jesus said, these things that I do, and even greater things shall you do if you believe on my name. And my name means my nature, and that Jesus told us we could do great things and even better things, and that's, again, get two or more gathered in my name. So in the name of good, in the name of promise and possibility and fulfillment, and that is the power too. And then we can take that and we can make it greater as we increase the number from two to more. Now this is where, I am sorry, if anybody owns a cat, you know that it goes with like having cat hair. Bless my little kitty's heart. Anyway, when you have more people and you're agreeing on something, it leads to great manifestation. You can do great things with a group of kindred spirits, like-minded people. Okay? But if that group is not being a positive group, if that group is any kind of troublemaking group, or anything that has ideas contrary to the highest good of all, you don't want to participate. You don't want to be sucked in to negative energy. Okay? All right. Also, one of the things it talks about, this is not a sermon, I'm just drawing from my resources. In the Bible it says that Jesus said, put my yoke upon me, for my weight, my job is easy, my burden is easy, and my task is more easily done. Now what that's from, if you're not familiar with it, is when if you go to country fairs, you would know this. They will take a yoke of oxen. A yoke is a thing that holds the two, puts the oxen together, head to head. The point of it is that the two of them have more. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta put cat up on the bed. She's whining. Hold on. Okay. I coming. There you go. So, I think I told you before, she can no longer jump up on the bed. She can jump down, very carefully. I kind of get nervous when I see her getting ready to jump down, and I usually will try to help her because to her, she's jumping into an abyss, into the darkness. She doesn't know where she's jumping. So she's got this one spot. She jumps off, but she cannot get up. So she whines till I pick her up. So, okay, sorry about that. So we were back to the yoke on the oxen. It holds them together so they pull together to get work done that just one can't. So, and of course, when you see you're gonna be seeing them on Sunday, I'll bet it's the Budweiser Clydesdales, and they are hooked and hooked and hooked and hooked, just like Santa's reindeer, so that they can, the more of them, they can pull a heavier weight, they can pull it farther, they can do a greater job. So that's how you hook up with someone, connect with someone. Sorry about that. You connect with someone who is going to be equally yoked with you. You're both wanting the same things, going in the same direction. That is very, very commonly used in marriage. And in many marriages that don't make it, the couple was not equally yoked. If it weren't for the vows, of course, vows should be like a yoke. If you're getting married, you should be ready to accept the fact that they say till death do us part. And if someone makes it till death do us part, as many people do, that is a huge blessing, because it's a lot easier if you've got a helpmate, someone to help you to get things done. But God, I went off track again. All right, so there's the thing. If you have more help, you get more done. So powering up is talking about connecting with the collective, the greater whole. And that comes to, let's see if I put anything on here. Yeah, it's the law of increase. You can do an example about the strength of more than one by taking a pencil. I will bet just about everyone here, including me, except Tish, can take a pencil and break it. Okay? And if you take 2 pencils, it's a little harder. And if you've got 10 pencils, just about nobody can actually take it with their hands and break it. I know there probably are some, but the point is, the more pencils there are, the harder it is to break. Even there used to be the big deal, I just think that some of your kids, or your grandkids, my grandkids, are never going to know what a telephone book was. But we used to have a nice fat telephone book, and that was a strong man thing back in my day. Men would show the muscle man that they could take a phone book and rip it in half. A big fat one, a New York City phone book. Well, the trick to tearing a phone book in half is you don't do it from the back, from where it's bound. You do it from the front, where the pages edges are all together, and you bend it, and as you bend it, the pages fan out, so you can start with just a couple and tear it. And I couldn't, but someone else could. I could do it with a smaller one that wouldn't think one could tear apart, but you can do it because you fan it out, you make it easier. Okay, so I don't know what's with me today. I'm just not able to stay in one direction. All right, back to the power of many. And now I'm going to address something that people seem to have forgotten. A lot of people who seem to have forgotten. As we all know, our country is divided, yet our money, go look at your money. It says e pluribus unum, which means from many, one. We came from countries all over the world, and we come together to create a better world. That's what we were about. From many, one. And it says, united, we stand. Divided, we fall. That's why we're having so many problems. So we have, if we want to weave ourselves back together, we have to start doing that by powering up 1, 2, 4, 8, to make ourselves indivisible. There's even an organization called Indivisible that is working on strengthening our democracy. I'd really like you to think about that, especially if you've got people that you have been separated from in the divisions, the political divisions that we've had. Let's look for what we can agree to, what we can commonly agree to, so that we can restore the united part and reunite as the United States. We were, and I pray we will one day again be, an inspiration to other democracies. And we're not alone. We're not alone. Democracies all over the world are currently facing challenges of fascism and dictatorship and stuff like that. We have to be all working together. So if you've got people you've been estranged from due to the things in politics, I invite you to start praying, because that's hooking up. That's the highest power up. We're not there yet. But when we power up, and let us, Eric Butterworth, the Unity minister, would say, don't try to see it right, don't set it right. We can't necessarily set things right our own way right off the bat. What we have to do is, first of all, see it right. See the possibility. Pray for our oneness. Look for the good. Look for something. If you got that person tap dances on your last nerve, try to find something you have in common and something you like about them. If that is not possible, then I invite you to hold it in prayer and power up to level 3. Level 3, and it's I call it our angels, our guides, and our loved ones. I do believe when we leave this physical existence and move on to our next adventure, I don't know what it looks like, but I do know that as we move on, I do believe that we can look back and go, hey, what were we thinking? And I think that those who we love that have moved on, they see it differently, and we can be open. Always remember, you surround yourself with the divine protection and say, I am open and receptive to the living spirit of truth. How are we going to patch this up? How are we going to, as a song we used to sing in Unity, bind us together? It's really beautiful. I think Janet Manning wrote it, I'm pretty sure. And it just says, let's try to sing it real quick. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together with cords that cannot be broken. broken. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together, Lord, bind us together with love. It goes on, but I'm not. But I do pray we can, again, it says with cords that cannot be broken. A single strand can be broken. But when you take strands and wrap them together, and then add those to other strands and wrap them together, you can get that cord that cannot be broken. And maybe one strand is a particular nationality, and one strand is another socioeconomic culture, and another strand is politics, and another strand is religion. Bind us together. Not that we all have to be homogenized. We don't want to be homogenized. We want to be oneness in diversity. If you've got a problem with a different religion, I said this before, try to study up on it a little bit. Look for quotes by its leadership, by its like we would look to Jesus, someone would look to Buddha, someone would look to Confucius, someone would look to Muhammad, somebody would look to the Dalai Lama. So I really invite you to know that we power up when we come together, 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 4 by 4, that contrary to what we would like to believe, we are not independent. Not as individuals, not as a country, not even as a biosphere. Everything is dependent on everything else. We are, but see, the interdependent means we give and we receive. It's a giving and receiving of the very life force that sustains us and that will make us strong. That was pretty interesting. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope you have a wonderful evening, whatever you choose to do with it, and I will see you next time. Till then, God bless you good.